All right. Get this ball rolling. Hello, hello. So today is going to be a terribly boring streaming day, but I've been putting this off for a while. Um, I am working on trying out Reaper as a DAW. I've been a little frustrated with how some of the things in Bitwig work, and while this may not be a better solution, it's definitely a bit more stable on Linux. So I wanted to kind of pop around and see what I could do here. And one of the first things that I wanted to do is get my drum rack set up with the new drums that I bought, like the individual multi sampler stuff, and then kind of feel out of, drum groove and everything else. What's up, Void Flames, Simon K, Goofy Meister Master? Good to see you all. I apologize ahead of time. If you guys don't want to stick around for this, you are more than welcome to dip out because there's not going to be a whole lot of music making. This is going to be a lot of like drag and dropping shit into place. Because right now, I have this drum machine that I got to kind of figure out and make work. Right? So if I arm this, does that send? That does. Wait a sec. Oh no. Turn these off. Oh, I can't do MIDI in on the. Dang it. Oh, that was going to save me so much time. Okay. But what I was going to do. So it lets me have all of my samples and synths for the drum machine laid out in my subgroups while I can play all of them at the same time. Oh, and this definitely doesn't need to be recording in. Let's turn on routing. How do I turn off audio inputs? They don't need them. I guess that's because those are audio channels. So those are off. Armchair lunatic, hello. I do not care how painful it is. Do I want 30 PLN? No, I'm good. I'm good. Let's see. So yeah, so I'll kind of I've been poking at this thing now for a couple weeks. And I'll give you guys some kind of early observations about Reaper. It is feature dense. I think one of the things that I liked saying for a long time is a piece of software is good when it is feature complete. It has all of the essentials, it's customizable, and it's robust, right? Reaper is feature dense, where it's got so many different things built into it that that you're kind of stuck sifting through a lot of things to find basic functionality. But it's all there. As far as I can tell, every single thing I want to do in this program is achievable. It's just painfully nested within stuff. Which it's also not super widely supported. So what you end up getting is a handful of YouTubers that talk about it and a bunch of disparate tutorials that that explain how different features work, but there's not a really good cohesive starting from A going to Z production tutorial set. So I can tell that while I'm digging around and trying this thing out, I'm going to be a very frustrated person putting it all together. With that said, I think there's some opportunities for success here. So this is going to be a bit of a series because I really do need to start and finish a song in Reaper. So every other session while I'm working on finishing up just after midnight, I'm going to be doing these sessions. They're going to be painful. I'm going to be farting around and looking for tutorials, and I'm going to have to Google a lot, and I'm probably going to have to buy a printed version of the manual and flip through that. So it's like, we're going to sift through this crap together. But I think there's some opportunities for success here. So today is the drum machine. What I used to have previously in Bitwig, which you'll see the next time I stream, is I have a audio channel that is a set of buses. Those buses are for the kick, the snare, hats, toms, what have you. Originally I used Superior Drummer 3. Superior Drummer is a great sampler instrument, but some of the things in there I kind of wanted to get away from, and I've found a store, Drum Drop, that sells multi-sampled drums as separate kits. You get all of the samples and you can kind of play with them the way you want. What's up, Cato? How's it grind going? Grind's good. Grind's good. Wait, is this what Linux looks like? Yeah. This is Linux, Arch Linux with KDE Plasma as its like window manager. There's not much to show. It operates a lot like Windows, so there's a file explorer and shit like that. And then this is Reaper on Windows and Mac, also looks exactly the same. They just officially support Linux and they officially support RPM packages and other stuff that's a little bit better. So yeah. So forgive the boringness today. We are trying to make the drum preset that I want to use and then maybe fart out a little drum groove. I only have till 6:30 today. I do have dinner plans with some people that are recently moved to town, so this is going to be grinding away at something simple and then also trying to figure some stuff out. So let me save the project. All right, so first things first, I've got this for the snare. Yeah, so that's C sharp. So let's go ahead, duplicate track. This one is snare off. Oh, right. I'd forgotten I wanted to rename a couple things for organizational purposes. Am I on the right screen? Yeah. Okay. Just double check. So I wanted to get rid of the name here because the auto naming was fine. Rename instance. Okay. Min volume's good. Pitch bend is good. Okay. So what I'm looking at here is the built-in sampler with Reaper, the RIA Sample-O-Matic 5000. It's a silly name, but it's a decent multi-sampler, and it's got all of the tools that I think I could use. One of the things I noticed too, kind of digging around, Reaper does not believe in visual interfaces. A lot of this stuff is very bare bones, knobs and descriptions, and they do not have like a highlight. They don't have a highlight section which tells you what it does. So it's kind of, they expect you to know what you're doing while you're getting around, and that makes it kind of intimidating. It also makes some sense because you don't need to be distracted by things if you already know what you're doing. But anyway. Okay, so this is snare. Instance. That is snare, and then this one is snare off. Okay. Great. All right, we got the right one up. Sweet. So in this case, I'm dragging all of the samples out of this multi-hit pack, and then I'm organizing them. All right. We're moving this up. Well, I appreciate it, Simon. Thank you for the donation. I hope your dinner goes well and you master Reaper. I miss Bitwig already. We only were using Bitwig for like a year. I think I was holding out hope that they were gonna that patches were going to fix my problems. But after I messed with support, it was very clear that Linux is an afterthought for their part, and there were some workflow things besides the buggy stuff. There were workflow things that I didn't love messing around with. In particular, I feel like that their automation lanes were not very good. It was really fiddly to set up my curves and get everything organized in a way that I really wanted to do. And yeah, the fiddliness of that was frustrating. As cool as the modulator tools were, where I could add, LFOs and envelope modulators just about anywhere in the application, it did make it difficult to fix things in a signal chain when I have to adjust multiple automation curves. And I feel like, for my part, if I'm not messing with modulators and I'm more deliberate with my automation curves, I can have a much better time producing and much faster, right? That's sort of the big thing. What else was kind of frustrating me? I didn't like their browser. They made a change with the browser, and that was unpleasant. And it was yeah, there's just like a handful of fiddly things that were just getting a little annoying. So we're giving Reaper the honest to goodness shot. Oops, yeah, okay, so that's all good. So yeah, we're giving this the old college try. I might turn out to hate the workflow, so after I make this one track, it'll turn out to be maybe I just have to fail or I don't know, give up on it. But first things first, we gotta give it a real shot. And if I can remake my tools the way I want, then we're good. Okay, what's next? Rim shot, probably. Yeah. Enough rambling, more working. Okay, list. Delete. This is one of those things where it takes a lot of effort to get it done and set up correctly, but once it's done, it's pretty easy to just swap shit in and out the way I want. So it's like a lot of work up front, but then in the end, it's very modular. How strong would Locknar be as a madness character? Not great. I'd have an unarmed build, and a lot of people have guns and magic, so I would probably just get beat up and shot. Or maybe not beat up, but I definitely get stabbed and then shot, and it'd be kind of upsetting. That, or I just end up like my counterpart. I just end up DJing at one of the worst clubs ever, and then end up dead. X side pick. Click, clack, clickety clack, clickety clackety click clack click. Okay. E. Tricky's officially the worst club ever. Fair enough. You go to his nightclub and you just end up dead. So, fair point. Okay, so these are set. In fact, I could probably just take this whole bus and eight. Hooray. Okay, hats. Okay, we don't need the synth snare, so we can Okay, so C drum start on C here. That's C2. We need first. That's C4. Whoa. 48. I'm going to type you in because you refuse to be clicked. Okay. This. Oh, shoot. I didn't rename these. One sec. I'm also trying to be organized while I do this. Like, you're allowed to put descriptions into places, which is nice. So when I look at this, when I pull up a preset, Crinkles reacted to your song on stream, and he very much very likes it. Oh, sweet! Yay, go Matt! Appreciate the shout. Nevada in the MC series is literally Florida, but red and gray. You're not wrong. As a former Florida resident, that's uncomfortably true. Let's see. So rim shot, snare off there, and then this is just vital, snare, and we will do it for you. Vital, kick. Cool. All right, that just keeps it organized. Pop. All right, first hat is gonna be the bark, isn't it? Yeah, that's a open. First one's gotta be hat open. And this is a very tedious part of the job. But it's what you gotta do. So. Okay. Head open. These. Tracks. Hat half open. If you had to abandon the name Locknar, would you rather Bropnar, Legnar, Devin Martin, DM, Legan, Bropton, or Bropton, Legton? I'd probably go back to my old name. I'd go back to Devin Martin if I were to give up the moniker. I think the music production of my past is like fine now. I've come to peace with what I made in the past and what I can make in the future without having to worry about it. So it wouldn't bother me much to go back to my original name. I think the only suck is now I've got I have an audience with this. It would be unpleasant to restart from scratch a third time in my life because nobody fucking remembers Devin Martin stuff anymore. That's effectively like lost media for most people. And the algorithm is shittier than ever, so I wouldn't even have people be like, he's back or anything like that. Be like, who the fuck are you? And it'd be sad. Uh, do not like the itch. Yeah, those are old things. Old stuff is what was that? That was a remix I did for somebody. I was trying out kind of I think it was a trap song originally, and I kind of went for a crummy dubstep version. Not crummy on purpose, just I didn't have a good enough of an idea and I ran with it and it's like, it's okay. I can't really pull down old stuff too. If I've released it, other people own it. So like that label will keep that up until they go bankrupt. So it gets like no plays. I can't imagine they're making any money on it. Spotify, I think it had like 20 plays in the last couple months. Um, but hey, man, that's kind of part of growing too. Not every track you make is going to be a banger. Sometimes you're just going to have a lot of shit in your back catalog, and you're like, yep, I sucked once upon a time. Duplicate tracks. Now it's hat. What did we do? Pedal? Oh, pedal's closed. We'll do close tip, close short, and then pedal. Would I ever remix sublimation? No. If speed it up, it's already 174 BPM. Definitely not. It'd be like then you're in like happy hardcore territory or breakcore, and that would just be that's too much. I find tracks like that to be really um it's too extra and there's not enough room for musicality. So you're kind of like it sounds cool for 10 seconds and then you're bored or annoyed. Let's see. Actually, okay. Close tip. Good. Closed shoulder. I told you guys today was going to be the most boring production day. Closed. The other one closed? Yeah, okay. List. Oop. That was not what I wanted. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then the last one I think is pedal. Yeah, because bark is like 2 hits, which is a nice to have, but I'm not going to use it. At list. Wheat. Okay. At so now, the next I'm gonna probably go for my cymbals. Yeah, what's the clap stack? Oh, that's like a specialty one. That'll be last. What is a clap stack? One sec. Oh, it's a special hi-hat. It's a hi-hat with like multiple hats stacked together. Duh. Oh, and you know what? That's why people like throw a tambourine and tape it to the hi-hat to give it that splashy, clacky character. Okay. Noted. Clapstack. Literally is what it sounds like. Okay. Noted. Still a special. I would consider that a specialty one. So I'll do all my other symbols first, then that one, and kind of go from there. So oh, let me save because I actually lost work earlier when something crashed. Vital for whatever reason the VST. No, sorry, the clap version crashes. So I have to be careful with that right now. And I don't want to lose all this work again. Okay. Kate. This, we will go to symbols. Start with the, the ride. Yeah, ride gun comes before crash. So ride bus. And then we will go with ride tip. Or more open. Let's go with shoulder, then tip. Yeah, so ride, shoulder. Is it arbitrary? Absolutely. Do I care? Absolutely. We need to go up to C4. Damn, I'm running out of room. So if I have C4, I have C5 for my crashes, I have C6 for my incidentals. No, you still have your toms. Shit. Hey, I was just wondering how you. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I know you. You're the one that always talks about Madam Web. Let me read this first before. Yeah. Nice try. Terrible authority. Recognize. You're gonna need bots from now on. I have this art thing I made of my characters, but traced popular show. Should I post it? Yeah, why not? Might be a trace, but you still had to then. The pose might be a trace, but you still had to do the art on top of it. So. Okay. Organization time. So I'm trying to make it, if I can kind of show quick, insert. So I'm trying to have it to where all of my different shit fits on the 127 notes of the piano, the MIDI piano information. I will never have 127 percussion elements. It just won't happen. But I do want to have things grouped up where it's like on C1, I generally have my kick stuff. On C2, I have my snares, C3. And I'm already I started reasonably low, but not as low as you can go. And if I could probably go and start at just 0, and then it's kick, snare, hat, ride, crash, toms, and then everything else is ancillary. That's a lot of room. And then I just have to jump around on here. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. I need to shift my kicks down an octave, right? Okay. Because I want it all to be able to fit on here. Well, actually, that's arbitrary. It's in the middle. I can just keep going up. I just need to change my position on the. Okay. Is tracing bad? I mean, you gotta learn. I can't imagine that tracing, like you trace to learn how people draw form. I think if you try to pretend that like you made a thing that's pretty much a ripoff of another thing without being clear, like, hey, I was inspired by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or whatever. Like, be genuine about it. Or, hey, I traced this and made my own character on top. No one's gonna give you shit for honesty. It's when you pretend that you're like cooler than you are, and then people are like, "Well, that's just a ripoff of X." You're like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. It's like, no, you shouldn't have. All right. Let me octave up one. Let's make sure that this is working. Cool. Now I can just, I've got it all laid out here. How many do I have on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 by 8 is 64. You would never have the whole 64 on your little drum rack thing here. I think that goes for all creative things, by the way. If you're gonna pretend that you're cooler than you're not, people are gonna sniff that out and give you shit. And rightfully so. You're a big fat phony, right? But if you're genuine and you're learning and you're trying and you want to share with people, the people that give you shit are assholes, and they're far and few in between. I'm fully watching the ad I just got in case it gives you money. It does. It does. It's not a lot, but it does. YouTube ads give me money, Spotify plays give me money, and buying my tracks give me money. Personally, I don't recommend as much of a fan of it that Simon is. Donations are fun, and I appreciate it once in a while, but you guys got to remember that YouTube takes 30% of that. That you just gave 30% of whatever you gave to Google. I would much rather the money go to just buying the single somewhere or just paying for a subscription where you listen to my music, and then it's just better spent, right? For example, if you're a YouTube premium subscriber and you're watching my stuff, I'll get a better kickback on ad revenue and just like watch time than anything else. Same with Spotify. If you pay for Spotify Premium and you listen to my music, I get paid more money from a premium user than the other stuff. And then if you listen on those platforms, then more people will listen because the algorithm starts to pick up that people are listening to it. So Simon's got premium. Yeah, so there you go. He gets it. Yeah, so any time you listen, those plays will pay me more money than if they didn't. And it's not the big difference. I think it's like, call it 30-40% more. But those add up. If I'm getting like 1,000 people to listen to something, if it's 1,000 premium people versus 1,000 freemium people, the premium people get me more money. Anyway, where was I? Distractions. I'm thinking out loud. So I have this device. This is a launch pad. It's an 8x8 grid where I could play things on that grid. I don't use it often, but actually, before I do that, see it. 8x8 grid lets me play notes on it, which I don't think is currently configured, but I'm trying to think of how I could organize all my drums so that I can slot things in place and be able to play on something like this without having it spread out over way too many keys. So I'm pre-planning so I don't have to do this shit of like 10 different times to make this work. You got 25 more minutes? Yeah, no, I'm gonna be here for until probably closer to 6:30, maybe 6:15. So I've got time. I'm just kind of working on stuff. Okay. So if the kick section is maybe call it 8. So 1, 2. So if I've got 8, then here maybe I just have 8 blocks. So if I start at C, because I would never need more than 8 kicks. I would never need much more than 8 hat elements, and maybe I'm mixing some up, but like, okay, then I slot 4. That's 8 kick, snare, hat, rides, crashes, toms, miscellaneous, And the miscellaneous gives me a whole set of grid. Okay, I can do that. We need to change our start position though. So if kick is down here, that's just the synth. I pay for Spotify and I was in the top 0.5 of your Spotify listeners based on your app. Hey, awesome. Oh, you probably got the video this year. Hopefully it was cool. It wasn't cool. I just sat in the corner over there and recorded. Thanks for being a fan. But you are a fan, and I actually appreciate that. Top 0.5%. That's pretty good. Shit, that means you listen a lot. Some of you guys are on it a lot. I appreciate it. Okay, so these three start here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the next one will be G. So G, oops. One's going to be, not G, A. Sorry, we are doing some weird shit, so bear with me. This is G sharp. No, it's A sharp. 34. Spotify, I had top 0.1% in Poland and top 0.2% worldwide. Hey, nice. Yeah, you've definitely had that on repeat. Okay, so if that's 34, this should be 33. So for snare. That's not it? Okay. What? Oh, because it's off. Okay. So 34, 35. 36. 37. Okay. I can't have that many kicks, right? Like, yeah, I'll never have more than 2 or 3 kick elements. I'll never have more than a few snare elements. Maybe I'll have a lot of hi-hats for variability. Maybe I'll have a lot of ride stuff, but like only ever 2 for a kit, maybe. Yeah, keep it simple. Blocks of 8. That sucks because that's not really a round number for music purposes. 12 is easier, but this isn't rows of 12, so I can't really deal with it. Okay. What is this? So then 8 from there. Shit, I have to do math. I'm not in the mood for this. So my friend has a YouTube channel, right? He was playing Lego Batman Corruptions on the Wii. After he released the video, YouTube said watching the Lego Batman movie does not count as content. That's weird. It's also oddly specific for no reason. So if here, am I dumb? Don't answer that. So if that's side stick, we need to go 8 from here. That's your starting point. So if it's 33 plus 8, it's 41. The hat should be 41. That's F. Okay. Uh, How's this? I did trace, but only because I'm still learning and did not want to steal the artwork. And if anyone asks me to take this down, I will. I mean, you can be explicit like that, and I think that's like the safe option. But you just honestly, the easiest way to do is like, hey, check out this thing I made. This was my reference fruit trace. And then you link to the thing that you were, tracing. And then people can look at what you did, and then they can look at what was like traced. And it's an earnest, you're sharing what you were influenced by, you're sharing what you kind of used as a reference. And then when people are like, was there a reference? It's like, yeah, this was a reference. And then that's it. Like there's not a whole lot you have to do to keep that from being like screwy. All right, so if that's 41, then we need 42. And this one's 43. 44. I mean, talk about math, by the way. It's like having to do what? Wait a minute. That's 41. Ooh. 41. One's 42. All right. 42. 42. Close. That one should be 43. That one should be 44. And this one's 45. Test these quick. I think it started on F. Yeah, it's not so much that you're trying to be like it's not about CYA covering your ass. It's more about being honest, right? Like if I made a cover of a song, so I kind of copied the melody and the harmony and the whatever else, and then I didn't reference that it was a cover, and I just kind of said, "Oh, here's a sketch I did." It'd be kind of disingenuous because I'd be like, "Well, I did. It was based on something else, and then I should have probably linked what it was based on." And then people wouldn't be like super butthurt after the fact. It's like, well, he said what it is. It's a blah 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 blah. All right, so if that's 41, this is 49. So 49, 49. Wonder if I could get the pads. No, don't think about that. Don't think too much right now. Ah, this is ride. Start with right shoulder. List. Delete. Right shoulder. Okay, next is the tip. Just the tip. Right tip. Oops. Oh, that's right shoulder. That's the right tip. All right. And then this is 50. 50. This is complete. Right tip. Okay. That last one. What is it? Ride bell. Tell you what, as an arranger, you learn a lot from from people. Like, or at least from doing crap like this, I would have never known about what the accent is when you hit the tip of the bell on a ride versus a shoulder versus the bell itself. It's like, oh, neat. I learned a thing or two. Shit. Why is that considered a group? Oh, okay. Oh, so that's not considered. Noted. Keys. Oh, and bell is going to be what, 50, 51. All right. This is a good place for. Reaper looks confusing as fuck. It is. It is definitely. Oh wait, did I even put the bell in? I don't think I did. Did not. It's just not intuitive. It doesn't hold your hand. I have to do a lot of googling to figure things out. And while I'm ride tip, no, it's ride bell. Ride bell. Ride. All right. Yeah, they don't hold your hand. It's definitely for people that are comfortable in other DAWs first before they even touch Reaper, because it assumes you already know. Will there be better sound quality when you're using this? Oh yeah. Well, I haven't done any effects work yet, right? So the whole point is to be able to play all of my instruments here using a control group, and then when I'm done, I'm going to have all of these with like audio effects on each of these buses to clean everything up and bring all the sounds together into a unified sound. Yeah, it sounds flat and boring because it is. There's not a whole lot going on. There's no effects. They're very dry samples on purpose because they're supposed to be fiddled with. But yeah, let's see. Oh, that's running. Anywho, okay, so that's ride bus done. Let's see. So, can I figure out the routing now, or should I wait till later? Short answer is probably later because I don't want to fight it right now. Okay. And I probably don't need this. Squeeze you up. I was thinking about switching to Ableton, but blah. I was thinking about switching to Ableton, but thinking about learning the layout for new DAW just made my stomach curl. You're already on FL Studio. Stick to FL Studio. That is a perfectly good software. In fact, had I rewind the clock, I was just thinking about this today. I switched from Fruity Loops to Reason because I had an official copy. So FL I had pirated when I was like 14, 15 years old. And then I had gotten a copy of Reason for Christmas. So I switched to Reason. And then from Reason, I wanted to do performative stuff. So I switched to Ableton. Had I known what I know now, I would have never left Fruity Loops. The reason is because Ableton Live, I initially picked up because I wanted to do live performances. So I made my songs. Here, this is a camera moment. I made my songs and I broke them up into their stems. So I would have the kicks as its own instrument, all the instruments, everything was broken out so I could do kind of a performative thing while also playing out. I did one show like that. It was really hard, and what ended up happening is I just played everything in order. I didn't mix and match shit at all. So I'm like, okay. So then I ended up using Ableton more of as like a hybrid DJ setup where I would play a song and then I'd do some effects on that song like I would on a mixer, and then I would cut to another song. It was like it was DJing with extra steps. Now I'm just gonna learn how to use that shit if I ever get back on the road. Play on the turntables that are already there and just DJ like a normal person. Why the fuck would I use Ableton anymore anyway? And not to say that it was 15 years wasted, but I would have gotten a lot more done with FL. They got better automation lanes. They got better piano roll controls. Their built-in stuff sounds fine. It's not crazy. They have Harmor. Harmor's good. Stick with FL, dude. In fact, the only reason I'm not using FL right now and just picking it up after all of the shit that I've gone through is because I switched to Linux. So that's why I went to Bitwig, and then Bitwig's been a bit of a frustration. So now I'm trying. We're testing the waters here. We're trying Reaper. I'm very likely going to stick with it because it definitely feels sturdy and it has a lot of utility as far as I can tell. All right, back to homework time. Yeah, Harmor is supposed to be great. I wish they would release a standalone VST because I try it out, but they don't do that anymore. They used to, and then they stopped. They're like nobody cares. And supporting VSTs is a haze for a company that doesn't care. Uh, where were we? Ride bus done. Crash bus. Doop. Okay. Crash. They're just one set of crashes? Oh, yeah. Interesting. That kind of makes sense. They didn't have multiple crash symbols in here. So, crash bus. These two can go. If this one's 49 plus 8, it's going to be 57. 58. No. Yeah, 57. What am I talking about, then? I can math. I promise. I'm not an invalid. Okay. And then this is ride, crash, crash, bandicoot, crash. And what's the other thing that's good about FL? Oh, their lifetime license is awesome. The fact that they've been able to let people upgrade forever has been a great addition. Okay, I'm dumb. Why isn't this working? Oh, because my audio's down. Dang it. Too quiet for too long. 57? Plus one is 50. Oh, because I must have touched something. When the hell did that happen? Picked pitch. Weird. Is that automatic? I mean, I mostly use distortions because of the grungy feel. Like, yeah, I do that all the time. Can you show the bird again sometime soon? No, at some point. Yeah, I would not be opposed. The bird is happy to make an appearance once in a while. He's in bed already, though. All right, sample, ignore. That's semitone shifted. Yeah, no, we don't want pitching. Okay, problem solved. That was weird. Crash. Crash is named. Break hit crash file save. All right. Next up, so we're done with the symbols. Now we're going to circle back to the clap stack and then end with the tom, and then we had the miscellaneous section is open. Duplicate. Knowing that it doesn't like this. Okay. So crash is at 57 plus 8 will put us at 65. Okay. So then you are going to be clap stack. Oh, actually, the clap stack should have probably gone in with the symbols bus, maybe? Because that's technically a symbol. Crazy to think that when I do perks, I go for kick, snare, hi-hats, open hats, and maybe a chimer bell. It doesn't take very much to have a really good rhythm going. And I try to think of things now as if I was like a real drummer. You got 2 hands, you got 2 feet. At most, even the most intricate drummer is going to have, well, 4 things playing at one time. Unless you have a secondary person doing, a shaker or another person playing something. Like, the more people you add, the more you can play. But like, how many people have you ever seen playing like 10 drums at once? It's okay. A drum line maybe, but they're also playing on they're playing in unison. They're not playing different stuff. They're all playing the same exact thing for volume. Okay, so where do I want to put the clap stack? Because that should be. It ain't a pedal, right? It's Oh, you know what? Clapstack probably fits in miscellaneous, so I'll put that at the very end. Next one will be the Tom's bus, and then the Clapstack feels like a miscellaneous symbol, which can be anything. Okay. So this will be Tom. And which Tom? Floor Tom. Floor Tom, list, delete. And that one we already set to 65. Tom bus. The hours passed. I still got time. I'm just taking an Uber to dinner, so I'll be there. I'll leave here in like 15 minutes. I appreciate the alert. Floor time done. Oh yeah, so this is something I actually really like. Collapsing things down. I kind of want to figure out how to hide this entirely so I don't see the entire chain set, but I know that's an option. Ooh. Oh, look at that. The second collapse is nice, so I can just have all this stuff organized very clean. Oh, look at that. They even have the numbers for the audio channels. So it's like there are numbered channels throughout. Okay. The Goofy Meister. All right, grab some snacks. Enjoy your snacks. Rack. Think if it was 65, then we need 66. The fact that I can input numbers too, by the way, I really like that. I know that's a little tedious, but it speaks to my OCD. I want to have complete control. Give me number inputs versus dragging stuff and feelings. Feelings are for the weak. Math is forever. This. Yep. File save. Disney is trying to get me to do something for Jungle Cruise. No, I'm not in Florida right now. I sure wouldn't mind it if I was, but okay. So, exams are upon us. Oof, good luck. Been a long time since I was in school, and I'm glad I'm not. Yeah, organization is very important. I often see producers not sort and label their stems, and the project gets messy and it hurts to scroll through. Same with mixing. I am my own worst enemy, 100%. Accelerant by the end, even with like good organization, by the end of that was a really painful mix down to get that fixed. It was like there were a lot of problems, and thankfully I was able to sort through them, and I'm happy with the mix that I ended up with. But it got messy, and it got messy mostly because the modulators cannot be flattened down to automation curves where I could have fixed stuff. But yeah. All right. So now we've got all this. So it should be. Now we need to do the crazy shit of MIDI routing. So I think I have this right. Insert a new track. I think I can call this drum MIDI bus. Or drum MIDI. Actually, I don't even need to call it bus. I need to use routing tool. Send to ultra. Let's just send to the kick bus first. No audio, just MIDI, MIDI from all channels. That did not. Oh, I don't want MIDI or audio input. Master send channels to from. No. Track channels. Can't have 0 track channels. Send to original channels. Well, I often do this thing with EQ that I cut out highs and automate them to slowly fade in just to make the riser hit harder at the drop. Yeah, that's a valid technique. I mean that's just a nice filter, right? To filter your way in. Post fader. I really don't need an audio channel. Can I just create a MIDI channel? No, because that's not. And like, okay, great example of what the fuck is going on with Reaper. Add a new track. Cool. Insert multiple tracks. I know what that is. Insert virtual instrument on new track. Why is it that I can't just do insert a new track and add a VST? Well, it turns out that you have to manually set up your routing for each track before you can add instruments to it. So this is like the default to, hey, it takes MIDI input. Oh, thanks. Then you have insert track from template, which I can do templates, which is nice. Oh, actually, speaking up, that is sick about Reaper is I can save this whole setup as a track template, and I can just plop all of the track routing as a template. So that's actually super cool. I really like that. Show master track, easy enough. Show TCP on right side of a range. I don't know what TCP is. Show FX inserts in TCP. Don't know what TCP is. So sends in TCP when size permit. Oh, transport control panel. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay, record MIDI. Is it overdub? No. Record audio MIDI. I don't want. Okay, this is. I'll have to figure that out later. It doesn't need an FX. It needs to be routed. So why is it that kick doesn't receive it? Oh, because I sent it to kick bus, not to kick. I'm an idiot. Yeah, that's still a problem. None. I had it. Oh, no input. Perfect. Record MIDI. No. MIDI replace? No. Touch and replace? Nope. Latch and replace? No. Okay. So recorded those two things. All right, we need to go to the routing for this. I have a receive. Mm. Okay. Because I need to route all this crap. All right, I asked somebody this question, so let me see. See what I mean about Reaper? It's like I'm trying to use a track. Okay. It should have this. Well, it doesn't record. I turned the input off because I didn't want to. Oh, input MIDI. That's why. All MIDI inputs. All channel. Okay, that's why. I'm an idiot. Haha! It's because I turned. You can turn off every single thing. It just has no inputs. It does nothing. No, I get why they do that because you could make that a weird routing pivot point. Okay. So now I need to do the routing for each of these. So add a new receive from drum MIDI. No audio. What did I do for this? Routing. What is this for? I really wish they had highlight tool tips. All right, I'm going to check if that's something that somebody's programmed in somewhere else because Reaper. I bet you somebody out there made a script. Reza, just Reza. Hey, appreciate that, man. Yeah, sorry you came in today. It's a very boring production day. I'm trying out Reaper, and as such, I'm going to be a little bit boring figuring out how this all works. And I'm only going to be here for a few more, but I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming by. So if I route here, receive drum MIDI, no audio. See what I mean about this being like very tedious with MIDI routing where certain things in Bitwig were like implicit. They would do implicit tools, um, which is fine. Okay. None flows. Actually, I could probably just do all the sends from here, couldn't I? Yep. A new send. There. Done. Add there. Off. Rim shot. And this is all in the effort of saving me trouble later. Although it's truth is going to be, this isn't going to save me that much because when I add a new instrument, I'm going to need to remember to do the routing from this thing to turn the thing on, and it's going to be like, why isn't it working? Lol, fries, lol, side stick. That's open. That's half open. None. That's closed tip. And shoulder. None. At pedal. At least adding them's easy. God, this is ugly though. They're like, we don't care about your feelings here. You've done this to yourself. Like, but make it like a cleaner interface. No, it's a list, and you're going to look at it. That's fine. Okay, right bell. Yeah, I can't even like expand it. Crash. Okay. Floor tom. Okay. So, in theory, so if I turn on looping, go with the tempo that I know, 4. So I can't see the named stuff here. Dang. Oh no. I wanted to have the names in here. Oh, that's annoying. Kind of hard to write when you can't read. So, well, all right, for the sake of right this second. Why can't I see the whole thing? Grid 32. Oh, let's make that much smaller. Or much larger, sorry. Fuck. Oh, it's right click. But like a cheat way. I'm just trying to get crappy effects buzz going. I'm not trying that hard. Let's see. Saturn. Yeah, we'll just smash it with Saturn. This is proof of concept, not proof of sounding good. Can I cheat? Offset the pitch. Oops. So theory works. I definitely have to sit down and really fine tune how everything sounds. That actually kind of sounds kind of nifty. Not great. Nifty. So let's get rid of the effects buses on that, just so we're not. Then we'll leave this. We'll leave the crappy vital preset alone. We'll make our own later. I want to be able to see the pads because I've done the trouble of naming all of these, but I don't know how to see it here. I bring it. gonna see what is it. Let's see if we can make this sound a little bit more natural quick, just for my sake. I'm choked. Very choppy. Hmm. Like they don't have tails, so it should be. Well, let's link it now. It might be just because it's short. Oh, you can stack notes. Oh, that's weird. Why? Oh, in case you have like called. Mhm. Is it because there's a little bit sticking out the end? Whoa, what the fuck? What happened here? Cannot extend it beyond the bounds of the MIDI clip. Oh, interesting. Let's see. I'll have to see about that behavior. It definitely, I know why it's kind of. It definitely sounds flat because we're using a flat sample. Um, Whereas if I grabbed SD3, right? So if I grab that quick, I don't need the clip. Item, but there's that. Okay. Let's see. Insert virtual instrument. Superior drummer. No. Do the standard 2 out. I think it is those rooms and those overheads that give you a lot of character. So, not the worst thing in the world. I can control this pretty well. And I've already done all that MIDI routing in a way that's pretty convincing. Um, Dang, I was hoping that I could kind of come cheaply into something, but they're flat. Yeah, they're really flat. So like, do I have a preset in here? I don't think I do. Oh, I do have a basic. Oh, whoops. Crap. It's the bleeds that give it some clarity. I mean, it works in Linux, so I'm not super upset about trying to use this instrument here. I really wanted to have something that was like a little bit more controlled. Is B flat, E flat, blah 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 the deputized notes? I haven't remembered in a minute. I'd have to look for it. Okay. Well, first, before I lose too much track of time, I gotta go. I got dinner plans, so I'm gonna this close. I'm gonna save what I have. I'm gonna revisit it. Superior Drummer is good. I just don't love having to pull up the interface every time I want to change something. And having all of these individual buses is great, but it got clunky sometimes. I'm not going to lie. That being said, sounds don't lie. And that is the best sounding drum kit. I think the bleeds are something that I'm going to have a hard time faking. And I'm better off using the sampler and just buying more kits from them. I just hate the closed ecosystem. But then what am I supposed to do? Oops. Oh, thank you, Simon. Appreciate it. Once again, appreciate the dono. Um, I'll have to mull on this. Yeah, I'll have to think about this. But anyway, thanks y'all for coming. Sorry today was kind of boring as shit. It was a lot to kind of fuss with. I've been meaning to do this for a minute, so thanks for hanging. It wasn't terribly exciting. I guess my next step is to remake the Superior Drummer thing, and then from there I should be good to kind of keep going. Okay, just get my head in the right place. All right, observations day 1, fiddling with you guys. I like the way that this is organized. I think that there's a lot of potential here for how I have much better control of my DAW. Some of the editing is weird, but I think those are shortcuts, those are short commands. It's learning the interface. It's not intuitive, but if you learn it, then you know it. So I'll take that if it gives me better control. So I have to make a sound design. I have to make the drums, get that whole thing set up to know if that workflow works. I have to do respace design, build a chain, build a sound, see how that kind of all comes together, combine the two, and start building a track around that. I think with that, I'll have something. What's the visualizer? Oh, that's mini meters. It's actually on my second monitor. I just leave it running all the time. It's $10 on itch.io. The guy who makes it is a it's a one developer, and it's on Linux, Windows, and Apple. It's awesome. Yeah, actually let me find it quick. Mini Highly recommend this. Everyone's starting to use it. It's semi-customizable and you can leave it up all the time. Mini meters by what's the guy's name? I don't even think he puts his name out there. But he's constantly adding to it. It's in alpha right now. So whatever he's doing, it's he takes suggestions on his Discord. I love it. And I will be using it for a while. It's nice to have because then I can look at a visualizer while I'm listening to other music. But anyway, so yeah, I think I've got some stuff to figure out here. So I'll talk to y'all later. See you on, what is it, Friday? I'll see you on Monday.